What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today we have very exciting news. We are going to be finishing the Camaro 100%. Headlights, turn signals, all the good stuff. We also got our new wheels and tires mounted and balanced, so I'll go ahead and show you guys what those are looking like. So if you guys remember, these are the old Centerline Convo Pros that we used to have. So the front wheels worked, but the rear wheels were not working with our 5/8 inch stud on our rear end. So we went ahead and got ourselves some 3030 Autosport launch wheels, and I must say these things are super badass, and we could not be happier about how they look. So these launches, the center of the wheel, right, so not the barrel of the wheel, but the center is billet one piece, and if you look closely you can see the machine marking, and then the barrels are just, I guess, formed or stamped, however the hell they make them. We got them wrapped in our Mickey Thompson Pro Bracket radials, and those are a 15 by 10 with 5.5 inch back spacing, which really brings the tire out and kind of makes it just about flush. So we could have got with a little bit more, but just to fit that tire, they work perfectly. So up front, we got the same thing, but we got the 17 inch version. Wanted to give it that race car look with the big wheel up front, wrapped into Mickey Thompson Sportsman SR. And these are 26 by 6 by 17s. Now the cool thing about these wheels up here is these are 100% billet. So this is made from a single piece of aluminum, and you can see that just the very fine detail work in the machining. There you have little groove outs and whatnot. These wheels are absolutely immaculate, and I really love that we got the polished look. Give you guys the overall view. Yeah, I'm super happy with how they look. Also, the last time you saw the car, we had no fenders. We had no front bumper, and there was no glass. Well, I guess you guys did see the glass. So all the glass is in, door glass is done, door seals are done, all the trim's on. It's a little dirty right now, no big deal. But yeah, we are plugging away. We're making this thing look like a car once again. Front end is back on. Like I said, the fenders are on. Just wanted to give it that stance and see what it was going to look like. And she's sitting pretty low, I'm not going to lie, but I think the front end can come down just a little bit more. So I'll probably work on that in the future. Not going to worry about it right now. But yeah, overall, really happy with 3030 Autosport. The quality of work that these guys are putting out with the wheels that they're sending us are just awesome. They do have a beadlock version, but since we don't know if this car is going to be fast or not, we weren't going to be the slow guy with beadlocks. So in the future, if we have to, we'll go to a beadlock version or get these converted, or just have these as a nice street wheel and go from there. So yeah, so what we're going to do today, like I was saying, is we got our headlights in, and these are just some basic LEDs. They're split, so these are low beam, high beam. Obviously, the high beam is on with the low beam. We also have new ones of these on the way. They're not here just yet, but I'm going to take the old ones out, polish the buckets up, the old ones, from polish these rings up, and get all the lights back installed. We also have new corner lights coming, which is also good. So we'll have all new lights on this thing, new bulbs. Everything will be LED, so everything will draw very little to no, let's say little to no, but little power compared to a halogen. So I am going to redo the entire front harness, only because one, we have all this extra wiring that came with our precision fab and wiring kit for our leash board. So we're going to use all of that, and also that the stock wiring harness, it's kind of just trash, right? It's very old, from 78, obviously. Would it work? I'm sure it would, but it's also been cut up a few times. New bulb sockets have been spliced in. So if I'm gonna cut those off, basically just redo the whole front harness, make it shorter, make it nicer, make it cleaner. So that's what we're all gonna do. And yeah, like I said, that'll be it for the Camaro. Once we get the headlights done, we got our wheels on and mounted, ready to go. Needs an alignment, and then we'll hit the dyno, and then we'll actually see what kind of power this is going to make. See if we have any problems, see if we have a converter issue, rear end issue, any type of issue on the dyno. That'll kind of give us our first look on how the car is going to act and perform before we actually make it to the track. So I'm going to do my best to kind of show you guys my wiring process and about how I go about doing things like that. So since we're going to do it from scratch, it'll be a little bit easier to show you rather than trying to make one work. I made the rear harness work. In reality, I should have just redone it. That's all right. We can always do it later. But it'll be super nice. It'll be loomed up. It'll be nice and heat shrunk and have good quality stuff on it, so we have no issues with it later. All right, so we got our headlights installed, polished up the factory, bezels or whatnot. The buckets came out pretty good. And we got this side pretty much done, so it's not loomed up yet. I won't do that until after I test everything. But you can see our main harness comes off here. So we have our horn, which is a little gray wire right there. We have our parking lamp on the side, or side marker. We have our headlamp right here. So we got our white wire, which is our low, blue wire is high beam, and black is obviously ground. So all I did was basically tie into the harness that comes from the leash board, as well as this right here, this white wire is going to the parking wire, which every white wire you see here is parking. So it goes from one, branches off to the main harness, and then comes back up through to the other side. And over here, it's kind of hard to see, we have our turn signal. This guy right here fell down, so this is on there. So our black wire is ground, blue wire is our turn signal, and our brown wire, which is kind of dirty, brown wire is parking. So on this side, it's the opposite, right? Which I can show you from the inside. Actually, I'll show you right here. All right. So this side's the opposite, right? So when I tested this, black wire is ground still, yellow wire is parking, and the brown wire is the turn signal. So on the other side, it's the opposite. This has been replaced. This whole assembly has been replaced. So the wiring was a little janky, and obviously I wanted to make it nicer because I have the ability to, so why not? So when you guys are doing this, I definitely recommend you put power to what you need to and test it beforehand, right? So if I didn't test that and just assumed that the parking was brown, I wouldn't have a turn signal, because the turn signal is trying to use the yellow, right? Which it would have just been such a very dim turn signal, if anything at all. So good thing that the brown wire, when I tested it, is the turn signal side of that bulb. And then the yellow wire is the parking side. So something to look for when you're doing your wiring is test everything, right? So I tested all these again. White wire, low beam. Blue wire, high beam. Black wire, ground, okay? Test it, test it, test it. Cannot stress that enough, because if I didn't, they'll be backwards and then I'd be chasing my tail. So good thing I tested that. All right, we got the front wiring all done. As you can see, side marker lights on. Our headlights are on low beam, as you can see that. Our turn signal, this bulb is like intermittent right now. If I mess with it, I could probably get it to come on. Yeah, see? So the bulb's just cranky. We'll just stay. Okay. Act like that didn't happen. All right. Same thing with this one. New bulbs on the way, so don't worry about that. Headlights working. Side markers working. So, yeah, that means our headlights are done. We need to get a new adjuster kit because the adjustments on the headlights are worn out and trashed. But, yeah, I think overall, I don't mind these headlights. I think they look pretty good. We'll have to get a new front grille and obviously paint the car and whatnot. Debating whether to leave these chrome or paint them black, because as you can see, we have our polished wheels, and I think the chrome look is what we're going to go for, because even our window trim is chrome. We could get black stuff, but I think it defeats the purpose of having polished wheels. So I'm not sure if I showed you guys the taillights yet. Don't pay attention to that. That's what happens when plastic's over 40 years old, so that sucks. But these taillights are super expensive, so if you have a second-gen Camaro, don't get the one with these taillights because they're really expensive. But all the lights are working. You can probably hear it in the background. Our leash electronics board making all the noise. And we got our indicator lights on the dash for our hazards. We have our toggle switch and our Kubota tractor headlight switch. Turn that off. That off. All the lights are off on the car. Kill the power. Just like that. So that pretty much wraps up the Camaro, you guys. Everything is done to where we just need a front end alignment, which it's not off. It's not terribly off, but we definitely need to do an alignment because when I put the upper control arms, I put no shims there, as you can see, and you can't really see, but there's no shims there as well. So I'm sure they probably have to be shimmed. But yeah, I think everything came out pretty well. Pretty happy with that. All I have to do is loom it, and what I've done is actually hidden the wires under here with these, well, not right here, it's just a zip tie. But, oh, here it is, one of them fell. One of these little magnetic guys right there, so it kind of holds all the wiring flat. So it'll hold it against the car and whatnot, and then I use the same ground as the horn mount. So our horn is still working, so yeah, just need to loom that up. And then the front end is done. So some cheap Amazon headlights turn out pretty well. Oh, these are the new ones, if you guys couldn't tell. The new lights actually literally just got here about 10 minutes ago. So just waiting on the bulbs. And then yeah, we're done. Front end is done. as you guys can see, the Z2H8 Camaro made its maiden voyage today, and everything went well. I just reviewed the log. Everything is reading correctly. Everything drives nice. Yeah, no complaints at all. I just gotta do a little bit of alignment on this thing and she'll be good to go. So what that means now is, now that we've checked everything and double and triple checked everything and made sure everything works, we are ready for the dyno. So a few other things we gotta get some good fuel, some plugs and things like that, but then we'll be ready to put it on the rollers and see what kind of power it will make. It's been a long time coming. It's been a few years since the Camaro's driven. The last time it drove was into the garage, and now it's driving out of the garage again. So very thankful for everybody that subscribed and watches our channel. You guys know the deal. We're always trying to help make our videos more informative for you guys. That way we get you guys encouraged into your own projects. So until we put the Camaro back on the rollers, we actually got ourselves a new project, and I will show you guys that in the next video, but you will definitely not be upset about what we got. So like always, you guys, thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next episode.